Hello, it's Quinn Cunningham with Fortitude Training Concepts, and we have part 2 on our dry fire practice. Please remember, please, it's 3 times. Please, that's the 4th, adhere to those firearm safety rules. Whenever we're doing our dry fire and dry practice, make sure it's in a sterile environment. There is no live ammunition, there is no distractions, and whatever we are aiming at can contain the bullets in case one discharges. Okay? Please, that's the 5th. So, how do we dry fire practice? How do we do our dry training? What I like to do is I get a target that's about the 1/3 of the size of the target that I like to use. If I do it with a 1/3 of the size, then I don't need a massive area to train because a 1/3 of the size target turns yards into feet. So if I want to train at 10 yards with this guy, what I can do is just go 10 feet back rather than 10 yards back, okay? And these are available on the internets, but you can also just search Google Images and download it and tape it on the wall. That works just as good. One thing that I hear about occasionally is people wanting to dry practice in the mirror. Hey, you need to dry practice. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go and look in the mirror tonight. I'm gonna caution you on that. When people dry fire into the mirror, they don't look at the things that they're gonna look at. They look at themselves. They want that immediate gratification of, oh, look how good I look. So let's not do that. There is a time and a place where I think it's okay to utilize a mirror, and that's when we're trying to iron out any kind of excess wasted movements. So what that looks like is, say you have a mirror, and I'm gonna draw in the mirror. So you have, okay, it's a full-length mirror, and here's your person. That's you. Okay, you got a big head because you're really smart. Right here is the firearm. This is you looking into the mirror. Here's your eyeball. There's your other eyeball. So what I want you to do is, if you do want to utilize a mirror to get rid of all those excess wasted movements, say you're doing something weird on the draw stroke and you want to iron that out. Have a loved one with a dry erase marker. Put a circle where the gun's at. Maybe a circle over the rear sight on the holster, okay? And then I want you to draw and come up to your eye. When the gun is, yeah, there's the gun, and then that's your arm, and then that's your other arm. Sorry. So now what I want you to do is put a circle over the front sight when in the mirror, and then draw a straight line between those two. Now what you're going to do is you're going to replicate that straight line movement, just coming up on target, coming up on target, coming up on target, coming up, whoa, haymaker, oh, okay, coming up on target. That will help, okay? That being said, everybody has smartphones now. If you do want to see yourself and see what you're doing wrong, how about you videotape it yourself? Videotape? Do we tape anymore? How about we video ourselves and look at the video, slow it down, and you can see what you need to work on. Okay. So that's the mirror. Now, before I get into how and the specific TTPs on how, there's going to be some people who have heartburn on after I press the trigger, I'm not clearing the malfunction. Okay. I have been training in this methodology for several years. And not once at any time have I come up on target, the gun went click, and I returned the holster like it never happened. No, I have cleared it properly because I have that malfunction clearance in my dry fire training plan. So if you have heartburn about that, why don't you just clear the malfunction every time? Okay, so I come up on target, click, and then clear the malfunction. I don't think it's causing a training scar, at least it doesn't for me, but your mileage may vary. If you have issue with that and you don't want to build that neural pathway, then just do a malfunction clearance. Cool? All right, so what are we gonna do and how we're gonna do it? First off, what we're gonna do is we are gonna do what is called mechanical proficiency. What mechanical proficiency is, it's a very slow repetition that is building upon all those neural pathways and coming up on target, say on the draw, and pressing the trigger at a very slow rate. Say 20 to 25% your speed. The reason I like doing this mechanical proficiency is I've done a lot of research on this. And there was a guy who played golf. His name was Ben Hogan. I guess he was pretty good back in the day. I think he invented golf. So what he would do is on his swing, he would, I know I'm supposed to keep my eyes on the ball, but so I'm looking at you. What he would do is he would come up at such a slow rate, just working on that muscle memory, building that myelination. He would come down, nice and controlled. I'm going to look at the ball now. Nice and controlled. And he would do it at such a slow, controlled rate that the ball, when it was struck, would only travel about an inch off the tee. Don't forget follow through. And then you always have to check your work. Bloop. That's how I golf. Bloop, right in the water. So Ben Hogan did that, and he was one of the best ever at golf. So on the research I did, there's a lot of athletes. This is athletics. We're really talking about athletics. There's a lot of athletes who do that type of training. So let's do what they do. Okay, mechanical proficiency. Let's do it 10 times. And when I say 10 times, we're going to do it perfectly 10 times. If you get to number 9 and you mess it up, you start back over at 10. Okay. So that's mechanical proficiency. Next, what we're going to do is just working on accuracy. So we're going to maybe 50 to 75% our speed on our accuracy. We are still doing the skill set, the manipulation. Okay, we are still working on that, but now we are working on managing the sights and the trigger, just like in mechanical proficiency. But what we want to work on is the accuracy. So we're coming up on target and press. Okay. Coming up on target, press. Coming up on target, press. Now, if you do want to clear that malfunction, coming up on target, press. Okay? So, let's build upon those neural pathways working on accuracy. Now we're going to ramp it up a little bit, and we are going to go to our operational speed, our tactical speed that we would in a fight. That is going to be 95 to 100% of your skill, okay? Not anybody else's, not Max Michel's, okay? Not instructor zero. This is 95 to 100% of your skill. So what that looks like is coming up on target, press, okay? Okay, so that is our tactical or operational speed. Next, we are going to work on speed itself. Okay, speed itself. In order to do that, what we are going to do is we are going to drive past our headlights. We want the wheels to fall off because that is where we're going to grow, and then we will be faster after that when we have those positive repetitions. So let's try to go really fast. See what I can do. Oh, I messed that one up. Okay. So that is speed. We're working on speed. We're working on mechanical proficiency, and then we go to accuracy, and then we go to our operational speed, and then we go to speed, and then we back down to our mechanical proficiency. Okay? Mechanical proficiency, accuracy. operational speed, speed, mechanical proficiency, okay? Let's say if we're gonna look at a target for these purposes. Mechanical proficiency, I'm gonna aim at the head. A very low probability target area for our mechanical proficiency. For accuracy, I could also aim at the head, but maybe the entire head. For our operational speed, let's keep everything in that center A zone. And speed, let's keep everything on the target. Okay, that's where we're gonna live. All right, so we've talked about the targets. We've talked about our how do we utilize those targets. We've talked about this philosophy. We've talked about utilizing mirrors and all that stuff. So this has been Quinn Cunningham with Fortitude Training Concepts. I appreciate you watching. And as always, God bless America.